Hello everyone. An update on Russia-Ukraine crisis. Starting with Putin, Macron agreed to hold trilateral talks in the next few hours to halt escalation in Ukraine. French President Emmanuel Macron and Russian President Vladimir Putin have agreed to take urgent measures to de-escalate the situation in eastern Ukraine. The LSA said in a Sunday statement, which followed a phone call between the two leaders in which Putin also discussed his intention to withdraw Russian troops from Belarus. By the way, I came across another news where Russia and Belarus will not withdraw the forces after their recent military war games. In fact, they want to extend the war games. But nevertheless, there seems to be an intent between world powers to actually de-escalate the situation. Putin and Macron agreed to resume work within the Normandy format, which will also include Germany and Ukrainian leadership, and will begin discussions in the next few hours in order to obtain a commitment from all the stakeholders on a ceasefire on the line of contact. So yeah, they want to come to a ceasefire. We'll see how that progresses. Serious concerns have been expressed over sharp deterioration of the situation on the line of contact in Donbas. The president of Russia noted that escalation has been caused by the provocations of the Ukrainian security forces. I did come across some videos which I will share in few minutes. That things have gotten physical, hot, and situation has definitely escalated. But Russia is claiming that it is because of the Ukrainian side and not them. I'm sure the other side is claiming the same as well. According to Russia's state-owned RT, Putin brought up the ongoing pumping of Ukraine and modern weapons and ammunition by the NATO countries, which is pushing Kiev toward a military solution to the so-called Donbas problem. So according to Russia, a lot of arms that have been provided to Ukraine, kind of incentivizing them to solve the problem by force rather than talks. Because of the intensifying shelling, citizens in self-proclaimed breakaway republics in eastern Ukraine had to evacuate Russia. Yeah, a lot of evacuation has happened, I'll show you another video where they're claiming about 30,000 odd have already been evacuated. And in my yesterday's vlog, I shared that Russia want to evacuate about 700,000 people from the two adjoining areas, Luhansk and Donetsk. So that's the first one. Moving on, Ukrainian defense chief says a low probability of major conflict with Russia, contradicting Biden. So Ukrainian defense minister Oleksiy Reznikov told parliament on Friday that there is a low probability of any major escalation with Russia. So looks like this guy understands the repercussions of a full-blown war and trying to defuse the situation, or he actually has some real intel that Russia never wanted to, and it is happening because of all the amped up rhetoric from the Western countries. Either way, he seems to be contradicting Biden. Tensions at the Russia-Ukraine border have been ongoing, with several Western nations repeatedly predicting a huge war. Ukraine has chided those nations for causing a panic. So I kind of agree with that statement. I think initially A lot of this panic was created by the rhetoric, and of course the other side has bought the rhetoric and taken actions. And all those actions that have been taken by the Russia and its allies seem to now look or appear that they were always interested in an invasion. But doesn't mean that they never were. So it's possible that they always wanted to, uh, um, break some of the Ukraine and merge it with Russia. That may be the goal all along. But we won't know. We won't know. Hopefully, if things can be de-escalated, then the real intentions will come out in open, at least on the Russian side, that they never wanted to take any area or confiscate any area from Ukraine. It was always, Western countries just needling, the Russia and its allies. Our intelligence sees even every move that could pose a potential threat to Ukraine, and we estimate that probability of a large-scale escalation is low. The fact that Ukrainian defense chief, who is certainly closer to the situation than anyone at the White House, directly contradicted Biden words is a no minor thing. Minor or big, I'm not going to go into that, but I sure hope that they do de-escalate the situation, because ultimately, people are suffering. Uh, Another aspect of this conflict is the monetary aspect, and there are repercussions of the conflict. So, economy hit on Russia would definitely be the highest. So the International Monetary Fund estimated in 2015 that Western sanctions and Russian counter-sanctions reduced Russian real GDP initially by 1 to 1.5%, and that prolonged sanctions will lead to an even larger cumulative output loss. So if there is a conflict, US and NATO allies will put sanctions, and just like 2015, it will impact Russia economically. United States will not suffer much from the sanctions. It imports around 30 billion from Russia, and exported about 13.2 billion over just 11 months or in a year, and that is not big a number, so it won't be much of an impact to United States if it loses that kind of business. European Union will have far more impact to the conflict, or because of the conflict. According to Eurostat, Russia is the fifth largest trade partner of European Union, with imports of 177.9 billion, exports of 104.1 billion. And reliance on Russian natural gas is very high, particularly in countries like Germany and Czech Republic. If I recall, Czech about 90%, Germany about 70% gas comes from Russia. 11 EU countries import more than 50% of their natural gas requirements from Russia, so it's not just Germany and Czech Republic. A lot of other European countries rely highly on Russia. For many, it would be impossible to offset the flow of Russian gas with liquefied natural gas, even using trucks, if they were willing to accept prohibitive prices. So even if they are paying hefty prices, it's probably they can't meet the demand from other sources other than Russia. So yeah, in terms of energy and the overall trade, Europe will get hit more. impact on Ukraine will be enormous. So ultimately, Ukraine will be the party that will suffer most. In the economic effect of hybrid wars, a study by professors Julia and Marcia, they show that casual effects are estimated by computing the yearly difference in GDP per capita between Ukraine and its synthetic counterpart uh, after the eruption of the war, and the impact in terms of per capita GDP due to Donbas war amounts to 15.1% on average in years 13 to 2017. So that's a big number in terms of GDP per capita. So yeah, the and it just doesn't stop there. I mean, overall, also, if there is a war, gas prices will and oil prices will go up. Um, and overall it will impact the economy worldwide. Moving on, I came across this from Washington Post, which surprised me because Washington Post is a propaganda or a pravda from US, and them admitting that European officials expressed frustration that United States was not sharing the intelligence that led to the uh, assumption that Russia intend to go to war immediately, is surprising. That is coming out from Washington Post. Um, the official said they have been told little about the sources and methods the U.S. used to arrive to these conclusions, limiting their capacity to make independent decisions about how much weight to give statements from Biden that Putin has made decision to attack, especially knowing all these claims were made in all the previous events as well, Libya, Iraq, Afghanistan, and all that, which later on proved to be wrong. All those assessments and intelligence reports were wrong. And as usual, British have not been among those making such complaints, so which is obvious. So now to the open source intelligence. Local humanitarian aid worker sent a footage earlier from the Donetsk region, and in this video you can hear the lot and lots of gunfire going on. So there is some sort of a battle going on, definitely, and things have gone hot. Here Abkhazia is declaring readiness to provide military and humanitarian aid to Donbas. So Abkhazia is coming to help of Donetsk and Luhansk region, and basically standing with Russia. German Chancellor claims of a genocide being committed as ridiculous, so he doesn't agree with the statement that any genocide is being committed in Donbas and also in Donbas region, and he think it is ridiculous, and Ukraine is not doing that, but Russia is saying that, tell that to the hundreds of families who have lost their children since 2014. So a lot of claims and counterclaims. Here is a video footage of consequences of shelling, and this is happening in Donbas, committed by Ukraine, and 2 civilians were killed according to them. So these are the human remains according to them. Here in the video, Luhansk is being bombed by the artillery from Ukrainian security forces, and yeah, this is pretty crazy. Now, it's hard to say if these are old videos, real, or somebody just putting videos from other conflicts and using them for this conflict. It's hard to say, but I checked some of this stuff, and as much as I can, and that's why I'm sharing this. So take it for what it is worth. Now here is a crazy a video from Russian side, where this guy, who is one of the politicians in Russian parliament, claiming that at 4 a.m. on 22nd February you will feel our new policy, which is basically that Russia, admitting that Russia will invade Ukraine. So he says that I would like 2020 to be peaceful, but I love the truth. For 70 years I have said the truth, and it won't be peaceful. It will be a year where Russia once again becomes great. Yeah, that's what he's claiming. So craziness from Russian side as well. Here is a video where an anti-tank missile is used to blow the Ukrainian position. So there are people here, and if you see from here, so here's the anti-tank missile, and it blows their position. And here is about 30,000 people who have arrived in Rostov region in Russia from LPR and DPR, and they are accommodated in school facilities. So yeah guys, that's the update on Russia, Ukraine, US crisis, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.